let's stay on the minor thing again a bit. Let's go from C minor, which was the key of E flat. We go to F minor, which is the key of A flat. Pardon me. F minor is the relative minor of A flat. Now F minor, as I said on the first thing we were doing this, F minor would be the relative minor of A flat, but it would be the parallel minor of F major. And the only difference in the sound of the harmony is whether it's a natural third or the flatted third for the minor. That's in the parallel, F major, F minor. For the F minor, in the relative of the key of A flat, which it is, you remember you're using the notes of the key of A flat, only you'll be starting on an F to give you the F minor scale in A flat, the relative. Now, there was a tune written for a show called Makin, Whoopee, which I conducted many years ago on Broadway and out on the national tour. And it was written as a vehicle for Eddy many years ago. I did the revival of it back in the 70s, I guess it would have been, and the conducting it. But the original was done in like 1928, 29, and music was written by Walter Donaldson, and Gus Kahn, I think, was the lyricist. Anyway, there was a tune in it, in the show, that was "Love me or leave me and let me be lonely. You won't believe me, but I love you only. I'd rather be than happy with somebody else." And the bridges, "There'll be no one unless that someone is you, you, you. I intend to be independently blue, 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 blue. I want your love, but I don't want to borrow, to have it today and to not tomorrow. My love is..." See, it goes from F minor to the A flat to major right there. "My love is your love, no love for nobody else," and ends in A flat. So the tune starts on F minor. This is F minor. I go down to the C's. Here's a G7. It's a C7. F minor, da, 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 G7 to C7. Now it jumps right to the key of A flat. A flat, da, 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 B minor 7 to E flat. A flat. Now the bridge is F7, there'll be no one unless that someone is B flat minor, F7, B flat minor. However, they throw a flat 9 in it, so it's like, "There'll be no one unless that someone is you, you, you." Then it's E flat 7, but you put the flat 9 in it. "I intend to be independently blue, 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 blue." From the G minor 7 to C7. And then you're back to F minor. Because when you run that G minor down to the C7, it leads you right back to the F minor. Now, when I said they make the F7, they add a flat 9, well, what that turns out like on a 4-string banjo like this is a diminished chord. However, what it is just the F7 chord with a G flat, because the G natural is a G9 chord. So, an F9 chord. The G natural is an F9 chord. So if you flatten that F9 chord, you get a diminished chord. See, here's the diminished chord. There's the F9 chord. Now, you could look at that as a diminished chord, and any note in that diminished chord will name it. E flat, A, G flat, C. But if you don't look at it that way, if you look at it like it's an F7 chord, and you just raise the F to an F sharp, which is inharmonic to G flat, it's a G flat, it's an F7 flat 9 chord. And that's what they use in that center of that tune when it goes, there'll be no one. So you can run diminished chords all over the place, you see? Now, there'll be no one unless that someone is you. B flat minor, F7, B flat, runs right down to the E flat chord. Here comes the E flat chord. You take that B flat and the B flat minor chord and bring it right down. It comes right down to the G in the E flat 7 chord. Now you add the flat 9, da, 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 to be independently. Here's your A flat, blue, 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 G minor, and run it down. Same way you did the B flat minor, and you get the C7, leading you into the F minor. Now, the reason I brought this around is because there's one of the great pianists of all time, George Shearing. He is my favorite pianist as far as all-around playing. He can do interpolations of beautiful classical pieces, and he could just do whatever. He wrote a lovely song called Lullaby of Birdland, which is based on that song I just played you. Love me or leave me and let me be lonely. Right? So he wrote his Lullaby of Birdland, goes Lullaby of Birdland. That's all, the F minor. Here comes the G7. Ah, da, da. See, that much is love me or leave me and let me be lonely. Ba, 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 ba. See? Now he went on from there. He goes to the F minor 9, ba, 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 B flat minor, ba, B flat minor 9 to E flat 7 with a flat 9, which turns out to be that diminished chord because there's the E flat 7. Here it is with a flat 9. So ba, ba, ba. Now, like the other tune, it goes up to A flat. Ba, 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 ba. Here's a, because that's A flat, da, da, F minor. And then it goes to B flat minor 7. Ba, ba, ba. Here comes the flat 9. Ba, ba, ba. A flat. Then A flat up here on a major 9. Da, da, do, D flat, da, da, C. And he's back to D, B, do, B, do, 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 do. Right? And then it's B, F minor, B flat, minor, da, E flat 7 with a flat 9. D, A flat, da, da, F minor, and then a B flat 9. E flat with a flat 9 to 7. Ba, E flat 7. Ba, ba, ba. Now he's ready for the bridge. On the bridge, he uses a different melody, but he uses the exact chords that you used in Love Me or Leave Me. Then there's a low weeping old willow. Where's the B flat? Now he goes on from there, right on to the E flat. He really knows how to cry. And he repeats that whole phrase. That's when I cry on my pillow. Run it down. If you should kiss me farewell and goodbye. There's a G minor to the C7, and you're back to Lullaby of Birdland. Da, da, da. Right? Ba, da, ba, ba, da. Here's your A flat. B flat minor. Da, da. There's your E flat 7 with a flat 9. Da, da, da. E flat. Blah, blah, blah. A flat. So he's used Love Me or Leave Me to interpolate a brand new beautiful melody song. But he's got these skirts it. Now what he does in the bridge, rather than, he goes, but there's a weeping old willow. He goes that. Now, he doesn't go back to the, like it does in that. He goes right on from, oh, there's a weeping old, that's your F7 flat 9. You can play the F7. Well, there's a weeping old willow, B flat minor here. He runs it right down to the E flat, which is that E flat 7 flat 5. But you can play E flat 7. He really knows how to cry the A flat. Then he does it all over again. He goes down to the F7. That's how I cry on my pillow. If you should bid me farewell and goodbye. So you can run anything you want as long as you're moving those lines. Now what I've given you also is a little bit of that voice leading. See if you went, you could go A flat minor into the D flat, then the G minor into there, A flat to the B flat. You can run those kind of things anywhere you want. You can run them up. See that? You could do any kind of thing you want because you're merely only going through the tonic, the B flat. Here's your B flat major 7, minor major 7. It's a minor chord with a major 7 tone, color tone. And there's your B flat minor 7 and your B flat minor 6. Color tone, you're just running it down. Now that G, the B flat minor 6, is also the third of the E flat 7, or the E flat 7 flat 9, whatever you want. So music is kind of understanding what the movement of musical theory does, along with the conception of the form of the song. And then you try to find songs. Originally I tried to memorize every tune that came along. And then I said, I can't do that. I can't remember every song. So I say, well, I'll remember that this particular song has a strange chord in it somewhere, or a strange chord structure in it somewhere. And so when I remember a tune, I remember that it has a strange chord in it. The rest of the tune I let just roll around through its cycle of fifths, or through its progression of 1 and 5, through its progression of moving in whole steps, half steps, chromatic, whatever. I just let it do that. I just let my ear hear it roll around, and I remember it has a funny chord in it somewhere that doesn't quite fit the form. And that's kind of how I remember songs throughout the years. Because it's like impossible to know every song in the world and know exactly how it goes. You start it out in the key, whatever the person tells you the key you want to play it in, and then you let it roll. You let it hear it roll. You let your ear hear the song roll around. And the reason it rolls around is because it rolls around that kind of stuff. It rolls around as it goes down, up and down. You know what I'm saying? So it's all a matter of that. I've probably confused the heck out of you, but that was Love Me or Leave Me, and George Shearing's. That's by Walter Donaldson, and that's then George Shearing's Lullaby of Birdland. Beautiful songs.